We all know South Africa for safaris and dramatic coastlines, but it also hides places where whales breach within arm's reach and elephants sport tusks as big as small logs. Beyond that, a cliffside arch called the Hole in the Wall anchors local legends, while Bloukrans hosts the world's highest commercial bungee, and Tugela Falls tumbles in near-infinite tears. In this video, I'll show you South Africa's hidden giants, Hermanus, Cederberg, and more, and uncover the strange, astonishing secrets most travelers never hear about. Tugela Falls plunges nearly 948 meters from the amphitheater escarpment, one of the planet's tallest multi-step waterfalls. Do you know Tugela Falls feeds from high Drakensberg snowmelt and summer storms, swelling into a thunderous torrent or shrinking to a misty veil? At first light, the amphitheater's sheer basalt walls throw the falling water into ribbons that vanish into cloud. Hikers who climb to Sentinel Peak stand above a liquid thread that carves the mountain into a vertical sculpture. Beyond its scale, Tugela is remarkable for its changing personality, a living measure of the seasons. After heavy rains, the falls roar like a locomotive, and after dry months, they whisper, leaving the cliff face exposed. Wind and altitude twist the spray into phantom fingers, sometimes sending the torrent skyward until it returns as cold mist. Those same winds can braid sunlight into sudden rainbows that hover in the gorge for minutes at a time. Geology wrote Tugela's story over millions of years as volcanic basalt cooled and cracked into the amphitheater's towering rim. The river's patient incision created the vertical stairway that tourists admire from protected viewpoints below. A climb along the marked trail links the Royal Natal National Park picnic lawns to remote highland plateaus where Berg Veld meets Iquiwe. That continuity makes Tugela not just a spectacle, but a gateway. Its paths leading to other Drakensberg wonders and hidden basins. Local guides tell of mornings when fog conceals the entire valley and the falls appear suddenly like a curtain dropping from heaven. Scientists, meanwhile, return with altimeters and careful measurements, adding pieces to the long-running debate about its ranking among the world's giants. Yet the true surprise of Tugela is how intimacy and grandeur coexist, a narrow thread of water sculpting an enormous cliff face. And once you've seen Tugela move, from thin silver to violent roar and back again, you begin to understand why it is spoken of in reverent, hushed voices. There is a secret here too. On rare, cold mornings, parts of the cascade can take on crystalline forms, clinging to rock like frozen lace. That fleeting sculpture lasts only hours, and then the sun and wind reclaim the water, sending it down the gorge to keep the mountain's story flowing. Swartberg Pass cuts through some of the oldest folded sandstone in the world, its ridges recording a geological drama from over 250 million years ago. Do you know that Swartberg Pass was carved by human hands across cliffs so steep that early engineers used only dynamite, pickaxes, and sheer determination to link the little Karoo to the Great Karoo? From the summit, the plateau falls away into a mosaic of mountain fynbos that hosts several endemic plant species found nowhere else on Earth. The same wind-sculpted ridges channel migratory birds and raptors between the Altanika and Cederberg range diseases, creating a corridor of life across provinces' fosses. Locals say the road itself sings when heavy rains wash the pass, and ancient talus fields whisper fossils of long-vanished seas, trapped in the sandstone. Driving down towards Uchhorn, the scent of hyrax and rooibos mingles with dust, leading travelers to the Kango caves and the ostrich farms that mark the Little Karoo. Each hairpin bend reveals a new perspective. Layered strata like pages of a book, sheer cliffs that seem to hold up the Skausway, and narrow ledges where endemic succulents cling. Geologists still debate the exact timing of the uplift that folded these mountains, but every outcrop offers a clue to continental collisions long before humans walked here. At sunset, the pass becomes a study in color: terracotta cliffs, violet shadows, and a basin that glows with the last light, an optical phenomenon few guides will predict. From here, the route ties into mountain trails leading to Gamkaskloof, a hidden valley, once accessible only on foot, whose isolation echoes the pass's rugged solitude. Conservationists treasure Swartberg, not just for its rocks, but for microhabitats where rare tortoises and endemic plants survive against grazing and fire. Community-led initiatives now connect farmers and rangers using traditional knowledge to manage water catchments that feed both the mountain fynbos and the orskisherns below. Walk one of the old bridle paths, and you'll pass stone cairns and relics of the workers who built this route. Their names unmarked, but their engineering indelible. A short detour from the pass leads to secluded viewpoints where you can see the entire chain stretching toward the Swartberg Nature Reserve, a living bridge between ecosystems. Visit in spring, and the high veld erupts with flowers, colors that paint the slopes and attract botanists who still find species new to science. And as the road descends back to the plains, the memory of Swartberg lingers, an ancient spine that joins landscapes, histories, and the communities that depend on them. Hermanus Whale Coast is one of the few places on Earth where southern right whales approach within mere meters of the shoreline, making land-based sightings reliably spectacular. Do you know Hermanus even has an official whale crier who rings a bell to announce sightings and guide eager crowds along the cliff paths? Each winter and spring, Walker Bay becomes a nursery where mothers and calves glide through sheltered waters, teaching the next generation to navigate the currents. From dramatic breaches to slow, close-range socializing, the whales here show behaviors rarely seen so plainly from the land. Follow the clifftop fernkloof and rotary paths, and you'll pass binocular-wielding locals, weathered benches, and viewpoints that frame whales against the Atlantic horizon. The town's rhythm is set by the tide and the whale season, and even casual walks can turn into unexpected wildlife encounters. Beneath this spectacle lies a story of conservation, where citizen scientists, marine biologists, and local guides monitor populations and protect critical breeding grounds. Their efforts have transformed Hermanus from a fishing village into a global model for responsible shore-based whale watching. But Hermanus isn't only about whales. The nearby Hemel-en-Ard Valley pours cool climate wines that pair perfectly with sunset reflections on Walker Bay. You can transition from binoculars to tasting notes, moving from cliffside lookout to intimate cellar doors in under 30 minutes. And just an easy drive away, Gansby offers the opposite thrill. Surface close encounters with great white sharks, showing how South Africa's coast can flip from gentle giants to toothy hunters. That sharp contrast explains why this stretch of coastline draws adventurers, scientists, and modits alike. In the rest of this film, we'll trace the whales' migration, meet the people who protect them, and follow the paths that link Hermanus to the wider Cape story. Expect stories that challenge what you thought you knew about whales, coastal life, and the hidden economies shaped by these colossal visitors. We'll also reveal little-known techniques local whale spotters use to predict movements and the misread signs that fool visitors. By following those clues, you'll begin to feel the coastline itself become a living map of migration. At Coffee Bay's hole-in-the-wall, a cliff-scale natural arch juts from the Indian Ocean, one of the rare sea-carved tunnels that can frame an entire horizon. Do you know that local Khoisan storytellers claim the opening was made by a jealous sea spirit, and that for generations the gap has served as both a landmark and a place of ritual? Walkers who circle the headland find tide pools filled with tiny worlds, and on long winter days whales trace slow silhouettes beyond the breach. Geologists point to relentless wave action on fractured sedimentary rock. Over centuries, a cavern widened until the roof gave way, leaving the dramatic hollow arch. What makes hole-in-the-wall striking is how storms can reverse the flow. Surges funnel through the aperture, blasting inland and fashioning temporary lagoons overnight. Fishermen and surfers learn those shifts by feel, timing tides to thread narrow channels or to watch dolphins ride the redirected currents. At dawn, the hole becomes a living frame, backlighting cormorants and turning spray into a veil sculpted by salt and wind. At night, villagers say, the hole draws moonlight into hidden pools where, according to elders, offerings of shells and cloth are sometimes left. Beyond the romance, the site supports specialized life. Rock pools host limpets and anemones tuned to an ever-changing niche. Conservationists warn that rising seas and fiercer storms may quicken erosion, threatening both the landmark and the coastal households that depend on seasonal catches. Even so, Hole-in-the-Wall remains a living bridge between story and sonnets, where children climb wind-carved terraces while elders speak of clan histories bound to that gap in the rock. Follow the coastline east from the hole, and you move into a sequence of hidden coves and river mouths, each shaped by the same restless forces that made this extraordinary portal. The Cederberg Mountains in South Africa cradle one of the planet's most concentrated collections of sandstone pillars and ancient rock art, with paintings preserved in cool caves for millennia. Do you know the Cederberg is the only place where wild rooibos occurs naturally, and the rare Clanwilliam cedar still clings to high ravines, surviving fires and frost? Hidden gorges carve the range into a jumble of wind-sculpted towers and narrow canyons that change color with every passing hour. Here, sand hunters left ochre images of eland and human figures that scientists estimate could be over 3,000 years old, their pigments remarkably intact. At dawn, mist rises from cedar-lined kloofs, and by midday, the sandstone blooms gold and rust under a ruthless African sun. You can trace ancient footpaths that lead from painted shelters to alpine fine-boss slopes where endemic proteas and heathers cling to thin soil. In winter, the range gathers rare snow, a startling white against the red rock, and in summer, thunderheads break over the ridges with sudden, wild light. Climb the Wolfberg Arch and you stand beneath a natural bridge that frames an impossible skystife, a reminder that geology here moves like living sculpture. The land still supports small, resilient communities in farms and guest houses that harvest rooibos and guard stories of the cedar groves. Local guides will point out cryptic star maps in the rock art and tell how water seeps from fissures to create secret pools that sustain life through drought. Conservation here is urgent and intimate. The Clanwilliam cedar exists nowhere else at scale, and each tree is a living relic of a vanishing ecosystem. Efforts to restore fynbos and protect rock art are fought against invasive species, changing fire patterns, and the pressures of modern tourism. But wander the ridge lines, and you feel an old geometry of ice, paths, paintings, and plants woven into a single stubborn landscape. From the Cederberg's heights, the valleys flow toward the sweeping west coast, connecting this wild heart to the floral riches that define the Cape. Nightfall here reveals a cathedral of stars. Light pollution is scarce, and the Milky Way pours overhead, a silent witness to the same scenes painted on cave walls. Stargazers and archaeologists find common ground under that dome. because both the heavens and the rocks in the Cederberg keep stories that refuse to forget. The Cederberg is small in area, but vast in memory, a place where the past is visible and the present is surprisingly fragile. To walk it is to learn how delicate endemics, human stories, and geological time knit together, and why the next chapter of this landscape depends on choices we make now. Walker Bay Nature Reserve safeguards one of the world's few shorelines where southern right whales come within meters of the cliffs during their winter calving season. Do you know Walker Bay hosts one of the rare sites on Earth where calves and mothers stay so close to shore that you can watch their entire courtship and nursing behaviors from a bluff? Beyond whales, the reserve cradles ancient limestone cliffs, windswept dunes, and pockets of Cape fynbos that harbor plant species found nowhere else on the planet. These fragile fynbos mosaics connect straight to the Overberg farms and the wildflower roots that bloom into carpets of color each spring. On the bay itself, kelp forests sway beneath the surface, attracting great white sharks and a vibrant seabird community that makes the coastline pulse with life. From the same headlands, you can track pods of dolphins slicing through glassy water and spot African penguins bobbing near offshore rocks. Local guides in Gansbaai and De Kelders have turned centuries of coastal knowledge into responsible wildlife encounters that let you feel present rather than intrusive. Their boats and zodiac trips form a direct link between the quiet reserve and the adrenaline of shark cage diving, creating a balance between contemplation and encounter. Hiking paths carve through scents of wild rosemary and ericas, each bend revealing a new perspective where whales may reappear, breaching or fluking in a staccato rhythm. Respect the paths, support local community projects, and you become part of the reserve's ongoing story rather than just a fleeting observer. Walker Bay teaches a larger truth about South Africa's coastline, that conservation and curiosity can coexist when knowledge guides how we approach wild place. Stay with us, and we'll follow the coastline from these cliffs to the next unexpected wonder where land and ocean keep rewriting each other's history. Bontebok National Park shelters one of the world's last remnants of coastal fynbos growing on limestone outcrops. an ecosystem found in only a handful of places on Earth. Do you know Bontebok National Park protects the Bontebok, a grassland antelope that was reduced to dwindling numbers before this reserve became its stronghold? Here, low aromatic shrubs mingle with springy grasslands and a ribbon of riverine trees along the Breed River floodplain. Migratory waders and secretive marsh birds use the seasonal vlais as invisible highways between wetlands across the Overberg. Conservation in Bontebok reads like a miracle. From nearly extinct in the 19th century to carefully managed populations that now roam gently rolling plains. Park rangers and local communities collaborated to fence, manage fire regimes, and restore grazing patterns so the ecosystem could recover. Driving or cycling the park's looping roads, you can watch herds graze against a backdrop of limestone ridges and distant mountains. Photographers who think they know the Cape rethink their frames here, because the light and low scrub create portraits unlike any other fynbos landscape. In spring, carpets of endemic flowers appear between the grasses, attracting pollinators that are unique to this limestone fynbos. The park's small size makes every sighting intimate. One moment, you're alone with a family of Bontebok. The next, a chorus of reed warblers rises from the wetland. History is visible too. Old farm ruins and stone walls remind visitors that this was once grazed land, later handed back to nature by determined people. Education programs here teach visitors how simple changes in land use can flip a threatened habitat toward recovery. A short drive links Bontebok to the quiet town of Swellendam and the wider Breed River estuary, so the park feels like an intimate stop on a larger Overberg narrative. Leaving Bontebok, you carry an understanding of how delicate limestone fynbos can be rescued and why the Overberg's mosaic of habitats matters for the whole region. Plan a slow visit, listen for the soft clank of antelope hooves, and watch how a tiny park can hold back loss on a continental scale. The next stop continues that conversation with the coastal cliffs and whale-sculpted bays that lie waiting beyond the plains. Rolling sand forests and ancient dunes guard Tembe Elephant Park's boundary, where some of the last truly tusked elephants roam. In Tembe, bulls carry ivory longer than any seen elsewhere, and scientists travel here specifically to study their genetics and behavior. The park's mosaic of coastal forests, grasslands, and seasonal pans creates a rare habitat that supports not only giant elephants, but also rare black rhino and a chorus of bird species. Guided tracking reveals how elephants shape the landscape, uprooting trees and opening pathways that other wildlife depend upon. Local Tembe communities and park managers have built a fragile partnership, combining ancestral knowledge with modern conservation to protect migratory corridors. That coexistence allowed elephant families to reclaim routes, once blocked by fences and farming, reconnecting inland savanna with coastal refuge. At night, the silhouettes of bull elephants against a star-clotted sky seem almost prehistoric, but pressure from poaching and habitat loss keeps the future uncertain. Anti-poaching patrols, aerial monitoring, and community scouts work in tandem, creating what? Of Africa's more dynamic conservation frontlines. A surprising feature of Tembe is its exceptionally long-tusked bulls, known to researchers as super tuskers, whose ivory can exceed 3 meters. These giants are cultural icons for local people and a controversial magnet for illegal ivory hunters, making their protection a global concern. Walking with a tracker at dawn, you sense how every broken branch tells a story of migration, drought, and survival etched into the terrain. This intimate knowledge also links Tembe to neighboring reserves, forming a broader ecological network from Mozambique's Limpopo floodplains to South Africa's KwaZulu-Natal coast. Restoration projects now focus on rewilding corridors, replanting indigenous trees, and reviving wetlands to give elephants more space to roam. Researchers tag individuals and map movements, revealing seasonal patterns that inform where fences should be removed or adjusted. In a small field station, DNA labs analyze dung samples, turning waste into insight that helps stop illegal trade and strengthens legal protection. Visitors who respect strict guidelines can witness dung-behind stories, spotting footprints, and fresh tusk marks that prove the park is alive. Tembe's story is not just about charismatic megafauna. It's about people rebuilding a landscape and choosing coexistence over conflict. As one reserve connects to another, elephants become the architects of a living bridge across a fragmented world. Every successful corridor restored here increases resilience against climate shocks, ensuring not just elephant survival, but the whole ecosystem's future. The quiet triumphs, rescued calves returning to herds, seedlings sprouting in once bare dunes, are the chapter markers of a long recovery. When you leave Tembe, the memory of slow-footed giants and the scent of wet earth stays with you, a reminder that conservation is patient work. That patient work ripples outward, inspiring policies, partnerships, and a new generation of guardians determined to keep Tembe's giants walking for centuries. The Karoo's cathedral-like quartzite ridges at Mountain Zebra National Park host one of the world's last free-roaming Cape Mountain zebra populations. Do you know, Mountain Zebra National Park preserves genetic lines that were reduced to fewer than 100 animals in the 1930s. This park, carved into the Eastern Cape's highlands, is a living rescue mission where conservation and landscape meet. Visitors find more than zebras here. Steep kloofs hide herds of eland, black wildebeest, and elusive bat-eared foxes. The terrain shifts between grassland slopes and sheer ravines, creating microclimates that support rare succulents and fynbos fragments. Birdwatchers track the rufous-eared warbler and the endangered blue crane that use the grassy flats for nesting. Ranger-guided drives reveal how careful translocations and community partnerships rebuilt a fragile ecosystem from near collapse. You can still trace the story in the park's stone-sown water troughs and rewilding enclosures, scars turned into hope. From the main rest camp, a ridge walk opens into horizons where morning light turns zebra stripes into living topography. That same light links mountain zebra to the semi-desert plains beyond, guiding migratory herds toward Kamdaboo and the Karoo. At sunset, small copies silhouette against Skione, and the quiet is punctuated only by the clattering hooves of zebra families. Night brings a different cast. Porcupines emerge, owls patrol, and the Milky Way crowns the open veld like an ancient map. Community-run eco-projects now offer homestays where local stories explain why protecting stripe patterns mattered for livelihoods. Those same projects connect to larger corridors aiming to knit mountain zebras' genetic refuge into a wider Eastern Cape mosaic. It is a place where conservation reads like biography. Scars healed, species reborn, and landscapes taught new rhythms. Walking one of the park's silent tracks, you feel how a tiny population reshaped national conservation policy and national pride. Sodwana Bay cradles one of the southernmost tropical coral reef systems on the African continent, sustained far south by the warm Agulhas Current. Do you know that it hosts seasonal gatherings of whale sharks, manta rays, and turtles that make this stretch of the Indian Ocean astonishingly vibrant? Beneath the rolling surface, gardens of table coral and hidden caverns shelter reef fish found nowhere else this far from the equator. Local dive guides will tell you about resident Napoleon Rossi, flamboyant nudibranches, and the occasional green turtle that seems to have a home address in a particular reef hole. Above water, the coastline connects seamlessly to the sprawling Simangalisa Wetland Park, where dune, estuary, and forest ecosystems meet and trade species. From Sodwana's reef, we trace a living corridor inland that links tropical marine life to hippos, mangroves, and nesting loggerhead turtles on adjacent beaches. Photography here often captures the uncanny mix of bright reef colors against the backdrop of towering dune fields and coastal forest. Researchers use Sodwana as a natural laboratory to study how tropical species adapt to cooler limits, making discoveries that inform reef conservation worldwide. At dawn, the boats slip out and divers slip under to join shoals that twist like living tapestries toward deeper blue. By dusk, local communities gather to tell stories of ancient navigation and sustainable fishing practices that have balanced life here for generations. Conservation efforts here are quietly ambitious, combining marine protected zones, community stewardship, and strict dive protocols to keep the reefs breathing. The result is a rare window into a resilient reef system that still surprises science with new sightings and behaviors. From Sodwana Bay, we follow a corridor of life southward, where each reef, estuary, and sandbank folds into the next chapter of South Africa's coastal story. Stay with us as we move on to the park's grassy wetlands and the predators that patrol them, revealing how ocean and savanna are braided here. If you're a diver, the chance to swim with a passing whale shark or drift along a coral wall dotted with vibrant anemones is a lifetime memory. If you're a scientist, Sodwana presents Puzzle Pieces: Why Some Coral Colonies Thrive at the Edge of Their Range, while Others Falter. Next, we'll cross the dunes into wetlands where the tide's pulse writes secrets in the mud, and nocturnal life takes center stage. The story of Sodwana Bay is not just about stunning dives, it's about connections, survival at the margins, and the people who watch over it. The world's highest commercial bungee jump crowns Bloukrans Bridge, which soars 216 meters above the Bloukrans River Gorge along South Africa's Garden Road. Do you know that Bloukrans Bridge holds a Guinness World Record and has sent thrill seekers plummeting toward the river since the late 1990s? Constructed to carry the N2 across a raw, sculpted chasm, the bridge is as much an engineering triumph as it is a portal into an ancient landscape. From the steel arch, you can watch fine moss-covered slopes tumble into the blue-green river, and offshore, whales migrate along the Indian Ocean current. But the bridge is more than a daredevil landmark. Its raw drop hides microhabitats where rare plants and rock-loving lichens cling to wind-swept ledges. Below, the Bloukrans River cuts a ribbon of riparian forest that shelters kingfishers, otters, and secretive reed geckos. Face Adrenaline turned this span into an international magnet for extreme sports, drawing visitors who, for a single heartbeat, trade the safety of solid ground for a controlled freefall. Yet many who come for the jump leave with a deeper curiosity about the fragile ecosystems threaded through the gorge and the coastal reserves that surround it. Local Khoi and colonial histories also whisper in the sandstone and estuaries, reminding us that human stories are braided into this terrain long before the road was built. Guides here will point to old stone terraces and shell middens near the river mouth, small clues that connect modern adrenaline to ancient ways of life. From Bloukrans, the road curves east toward Tugela, where jagged coastal cliffs give way to forested rivers and suspended walkways. That link between an engineered arch and untouched gorge reveals how South Africa's natural wonders often step down into one another, a jump from scale to scale, literally and figuratively. As you leave, the pavement slopes down toward Sodwana Bay, where beaches and marine sanctuaries offer a more tranquil post-jump contrast. We'll follow that curve next, tracing how the bold vertical of Bloukrans yields to soft sands and ocean currents that host dolphins and seasonal whales. One of the world's rare temperate salt lagoons, Langebaan Lagoon's shallow turquoise waters cradle expansive seagrass beds that feed and shelter migratory birds. Do you know Langebaan's seagrass meadows lock away carbon at rates rivaling tropical mangroves, making this quiet west coast inlet a surprising climate ally? Here, thousands of flamingos, waders, and terns converge each year, painting the flats with startling bursts of pink and silver. The lagoon's gentle tidal exchange, protected by the Sodwana Bay Peninsula, creates a mosaic of salt pans, mudflats, and reed-lined channels teeming with life. But Langebaan is not only a birdwatcher's shrine. Its warm, shallow waters are a playground for kayakers, kite surfers, and family outings, where seals bob near wind-sculpted dunes. Beneath the surface, rich seagrass meadows host juvenile fish, prawns, and shellfish, supporting both commercial fisheries and vibrant local seafood traditions. Walk the boardwalks, and you can feel the region's deep human history, from ancient shell middens to stories of early fishermen who learned to read the lagoon's moods. Conservation here has been quietly effective. The West Coast National Park buffers the lagoon from overdevelopment, and preserves flowering fynbos on neighboring dunes. Each spring, the coastline beyond the lagoon erupts with Namakwalan's wildflower spectacle, a floral tide that seems to flow outward from Langebaan's protected shores. That seasonal bloom links the lagoon to a larger ecological corridor that stretches north to the Namakwaland and south towards the Cape, inviting a journey through connected habitats. Scientists come to Langebaan to study blue carbon, migratory patterns, and how small coastal systems can deliver outsized environmental benefits. Local guides can trace a single day's route from lagoon flats to flowering slopes to the offshore kelp beds, showing how one place opens into many. And if you follow the coast down from Langebaan, you arrive at the dramatic kelp forests and shipwreck-strewn shores that hint at the Atlantic's raw power. This is where soft lagoon life meets the open ocean's wildness, a transition that makes Langebaan an ecological hinge in South Africa's coastal story. Visitors leave with contradictory impressions, tranquil waters and relentless marine energy, and a deeper respect for how small ecosystems sustain broader landscapes. From the fynbos-clad slopes of the Cape Floral region to the thunder of the Drakensberg sandstone cliffs, this land stitches stark landscapes into one living tapestry. Here, the smallest floral kingdom on Earth packs more plant species into a few thousand square kilometers than entire countries far larger. Travel east along the Garden Road, and the dense indigenous forests of Tsitsikamma spill toward the sea, where kelp forests and fishing shoals feed migratory whales and the legendary sardine run. Those same currents shape the offshore nurseries where southern right whales and dolphins raise their young, linking mountain, forest, and ocean in a single seasonal heartbeat. Across to the north, Kruger National Park stretches like an open archive of life, where elephants trace ancient pathways carved by generations, and predators patrol savannas that bloom after summer storms. From Kruger, river valleys thread into the Blyde River Canyon, where emerald pools and steam-carved rocks reveal how geology and water choreograph a landscape over millennia. Westward, the semi-arid Karoo and the Namakwaland bulbs stage a radical transformation when winter rains trigger carpets of color that seem to appear overnight. Those desert spectacles lead on to the Kagalagadi and the red dunes of the Kalahari, where clear night skies preserve one of the planet's most spectacular stellar shows. Even the coast around Cape Town connects back to history and resilience. Table Mountain shelters plants found nowhere else, while nearby Robben Island holds stories of survival that shaped a nation. Together, these places are not isolated scenes but threads in a living map, each ecosystem flowing into the next and revealing secrets only visible when you follow their connections. If you leave with one thought, let it be this: South Africa's true wonder is the way its extremes, mountain and sea, desert and forest, past and present, collide to produce surprises at every turn. There are still hidden corners where bioluminescent bays, night-blooming fynbos, and ancient rock art wait to be discovered by anyone willing to look beyond the obvious. Keep watching, because ahead, we'll trace the paths between these places and uncover the unexpected stories that bind them. Those stories will change the way you see this country, not as a collection of sites, but as an interconnected living system that keeps revealing new secrets,